What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mario Zilla, or you could call me Vinny, and today we will be taking a look at the Mafex Knightfall Night Crusader Batman. While not the first comic Batman to be in Mafex, that honor belongs to the Hush version of Batman. Regardless, fans were still excited to get a more classic version of the Dark Knight, representing how Batman looks in the Knightfall comics, featuring the supervillain Bane, which I believe is his first appearance, if I'm not wrong. If anybody can correct me in the comments, feel free. One of the many villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery, and Bane would be released shortly after, and yes, I do have mine, his review comes later. Batman clocks in at an MSRP of $115. That's a lot of money even for this. Unfortunately, that's the standard from Medicom's Mafex figures. When the figure was revealed with Bane, fans were hyped, since another Batman villain would join the line and folks again would get a more classic version of Batman. When the figure was released, fans commented, "This is one of the better Batman figures from Mafex." There was plenty to look forward to. The great articulation. This is a new comic figure from Mafex. And 3, most importantly, he's Batman! He's fucking Batman! No doubt about it, he's the goddamn Batman! Sorry. Where do I stand for the figure? Sit back, relax, and let's see if this figure is worthy of a spot on your DC shelf. Batman looks really cool. Quite honestly, I love the blue he has. Of course, black is preferred, but I'm still in love with this blue color. He pops so well on a shelf, and he features the gold bat logo this time around, which looks really cool. Not too big and not too small, I like it. His muscle definition is well done and features some shading to help the details pop, like on his abs and his pecs. Some shading too on his arms and legs, it's done good, I love it. And the blue again is a nice blue. Batman's face has the intimidation factor down, not bad at all. Doesn't look like he's in the mood for you lying. His cape is fabric and it matches the plastic blue no problem. Batman really does look like he hopped right out of the panels of the comic book. He looks rad. Batman has a lot going for him. His colors from gray to blue and yellow pop on the shelf more than the Hush Batman figures, and overall, I think it may have some more shelf appeal in my opinion. Nothing against the Hush figure at all, I just think this one has the better classic Batman look. His muscles are solid and he is built. Some folks had an issue with the anatomy of the Hush Batman, but this figure doesn't seem to have those issues shared at all, so I think this is a good take on the Knightfall Batman. Overall, I think Batman looks great. He has a lot of things going for him and overall just has nice shelf presence. So I think the look of this figure is awesome. Again, Batman looks solid. No issues besides some minor ones.
Batman's articulation is pretty much standard for Mafex, so let us see what he's got. The head is on a double ball peg, so he can look this high up, which is pretty much all the way, can look this far down, can look side to side, and can lean side to side as well. There's a ball joint here and here, so he can crunch forward. It's a little bit tight, so be careful. Can crunch forward just about this far, which is really good, and can crunch backward this far, which is decent. Arms are on ball joints, has a bit of butterfly joint movement, can rotate all around. Biceps on a swivel. Oh, sorry. Shoulders can move just about this high up, so it's a little bit more than 90 degrees. As you saw, biceps can swivel. Double hinged elbows can go just about all the way. Swivel hinge wrists. Legs can pull down. So think of it like a figure arts figure. This is just so he can kick higher. So he can kick forward just about this far forward, which is pretty good. You need to maneuver the joint just to get it to work right. So be careful not to break anything. Can kick backward just about this far. Thighs swivel. Knees are on a hinge, double hinge, and can go pretty much all the way. And ankles are on swivel hinges, can kick backward just about this far back, which is really good. Can kick forward just about this far forward, which again is pretty good. And ankle rocker is excellent. And toes are on a hinge. So Batman is packing a lot of articulation for Mafex. Mafex usually packs a lot of articulation anyway, but there's really no limitations and whatnot, so I'm happy with that. I almost forgot to mention, the cape is on at least 4 bendy wires. So it can twist around in many different ways, can look like it's blowing in the wind, or he's gliding. Whatever you need it to do. So that's pretty good. So like I said before, Batman's articulation works really well. It does wonders. It is pretty much the standard for Mafex that he poses pretty well, and I'm happy with how the articulation turned out. Batman here is a lot of fun. Pretty much a lot of the Mafex figures are a lot of fun, so if you get this figure, you'll have a good time. Just be aware, some of the joints can be tight, so if you feel them tight, do not force them and use dish soap or shock oil to get them loosened, alright? So be careful with that if any of your joints are tight.
Batman comes with plenty of accessories, although my only issue is the lack of batarangs. I really think he would have benefited with a couple of them. I also do wish the head portraits were consistent with the ears, but they're not, so that's a bit unfortunate. Still, let's see what he's got. First, the basic Mafex stand that comes with, I believe, all Mafex figures. Next, the cowl piece without the cape at all, meant for the face with the snorkel. And a cowl piece without the 2 shoulder spikes. To switch them is easy, just pop the head off, then the cowl piece off, pop the new cowl on, and then use any head of your choosing, and bingo, Batman now has a different cape and cowl. For the heads, he has a neutral sterned head with shorter ears. Next, an angry teeth gritted head with longer ears. And finally, a face with the snorkel for swimming photos and poses. For the hands, he comes with 2 fist hands, 2 calm relaxed hands, 2 splayed out open hands, 2 chopping hands, 2 sort of gripping hands for the wire of the back grapple, and 2 trigger finger hands meant for the end of the grappling hook. The grappling hook looks like a bat is attached to a bendy wire, a very long bendy wire. You can set it up in any which way you want, whatever looks coolest to you. Like I showed you in the toy photography in the beginning, Batman comes with plenty of accessories. Is it enough to warrant the price tag? That's up to you. Me personally, probably not. Mafex prices are still too steep for my liking. Don't get me wrong, the accessories are not bad and I enjoyed them quite a bit. A lot actually. It's just something to be aware of if you plan to pick this figure up. Does that make sense? Whatever, it's still a lot of fun to mess with the accessories and see all sorts of displays you can make for the figure, especially in tangent with the bendable wire capes. It all works out well with each other, so in the end, the choice is all yours. Here's a size comparison with other figures you may or may not own. Batman scales well with other Mafex figures, so if you need him in a display with any of them, you should have no problem. So Batman turned out really well here. I actually like the figure a lot. It has so much going for it, from the looks, the articulation, the accessories. It has a lot of fun factor here, especially if you're a fan of this classic look for Batman. I recommend him. For sale or not, I recommend him for any Batman fan or any fan of the Knightfall comics or any of the Batman comics. This figure is awesome. I would get him sooner rather than later. When Mafex figures go, their prices go sky high. So don't skip this figure if you want a Batman figure, or if it looks cool enough to get. I think there's merit in both the Hush Batman and this version to have both of them. Each figure has their pros and cons, although in my opinion this is probably the better version of the two. To me, it has a lot more pros than cons here, so that's why I find him better than the Hush version of the Dark Knight. I could go on and on, but this review would be an hour long if I did. I'll give Batman a 9 out of 10. Get this figure for sure, just be aware of that high price, and you'll be golden.